It's Real Sports Talk with Kenny Kluska on the Damage 365 Radio Network.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode number 65 of Real Sports Talk with Kenny Kluska. Of course, it's your boy, as the host, Kenny Kluska, here for another episode. Let me start off by apologizing for the hiatus. I've just had a few things I've had to deal with, but, I'm back, hopefully regularly. And I plan on providing you with an entertaining show each time I am on dealing with sports. Of course, all of you that have listened, you've known I've done plenty of top 10 lists in my previous episodes, and I plan on doing another one towards the second half of the show, so stay tuned for that. Now, let's get into things that are coming up. We'll start with 4 weeks from today. 28 days away from WrestleMania 32. WrestleMania 32, 4 weeks from today. The main event, of course, is the World Heavyweight Championship match between the Game, Triple H, the current champion, and the challenger, Roman Reigns. Now, I and a lot of WWE fans are not very fond of Roman Reigns. Reigns is getting booed pretty vociferously as of late, but we'll see what happens. Odds are he will win, but there's still other good matches that make wrestling fans want to tune in, especially Shane McMahon coming back, first time in I want to say 7 years, and he will face the Dead Man, The Undertaker. Shane wins. He gets control of Raw. And, of course, Undertaker is, 22-1 all-time at WrestleMania. So, we'll see if Shane O'Mac's still got it. I believe he's in his mid-40s now. We'll see how that goes. Then we got a triple threat match for the Divas title. Champion Charlotte versus the Boss. The Boss, Sasha Banks, forgot her name for a second, and Becky Lynch, so, it should be a good Divas match. So, WrestleMania should be a good show. I know they got a WWE Network special in 6 days, Roadblock, I believe it's called, and Triple H will also be defending his title at that, against the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, and I believe Brock Lesnar is facing Bray Wyatt at that event. And I forgot to mention Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania in a street fight. So definitely some good matches, even if you're not too fond of the championship match like myself. It's still WrestleMania, and it's still a must-see event for any wrestling fan. Also, 28 days from today is the Major League Baseball opener. 4 weeks from today, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, and it's a World Series rematch. The New York Mets will go to Kansas City to take on the Royals. Of course, the Royals defeated the Mets to win last season's World Series. Royals returning a lot of their players. They did lose Ben Zobrist and Johnny Cueto. Zobrist now on the Cubs, Cueto now on the Giants. Looked like for a long time the Mets would not re-sign Yoenis Cespedes. Remained a free agent for quite some time, and it turns out he will remain on the Mets. Daniel Murphy went to the Nationals, but the Mets did acquire Neil Walker in a trade, and they now have Asdrubal Cabrera playing shortstop. The Royals also added Ian Kennedy as a starting pitcher. What the starting pitching matchup will be, I'm not quite sure. You think the Royals will probably either start Rodano Ventura or Edinson Volquez in the opener. Starting pitching even last year wasn't necessarily a strength for them, but, just a dominant bullpen and, a good enough offense where they were good enough to win the World Series and make back-to-back World Series. The Mets, maybe Matt Harvey, or if not Matt Harvey, Jacob deGrom. So, but, regardless of who starts, it's still a World Series rematch, the very first game of the MLB regular season. Wrestling and baseball fans are going to have a tough decision on your hands which one you want to watch, WrestleMania or the MLB regular season opener. 37 days away from today, the NHL playoffs will be kicking off. And 4 days after that, 41 days away from the NBA playoffs starting. And 12 days after that, 53 days from today, is the NFL draft. As a Giants fan, the NFL draft, I'm hoping they focus on defense, and more defense. Maybe throw a running back in there, but their defense was just brutal last season. So, the NFL draft is part of the place where you can rectify that and, start building, much better defense. So that's what's coming up, within the next month or two. Let me talk a little bit about someone who announced that, or they're saying that he will announce his retirement tomorrow. It's a guy who won the Super Bowl less than a month ago, and that is Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning will announce his retirement tomorrow, according to ESPN. Of course, he won his second Super Bowl less than a month ago as the Denver Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers. Now, if this was the only year you've ever seen Peyton Manning, you might not think much of him. He had something like 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions in the regular season this past year. Largely based on their defense that they were able to win the Super Bowl. But just look at the guy's career numbers, as he played 17 NFL seasons, had an 186 and 79 regular season record as a starter. His 265 starts are second to Brett Favre, who had 298 at the quarterback position. Was about to turn 40 on March 24th, 18 days from now. So almost played till he's 40. In 14 of his 17 seasons, he won at least 10 regular season starts. Look at his career numbers. 65.3 completion percentage, 71,940 passing yards, all-time NFL record, 539 passing touchdowns, all-time NFL record, 96.5 quarterback rating, made 14 Pro Bowls in his 17 seasons, 7 times was named as a first-team All-Pro, and another all-time NFL record as he is a 5-time MVP, only player to do so. So a legendary career for Peyton Manning. Of course, 5 years from now, he will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, just an outstanding career for Mr. Manning. Read an article today on ESPN where John Clayton ranks him as the 3rd best quarterback of all time. He ranks Brady 1st and Joe Montana 2nd. I believe he put Johnny Unitas 4th. That's about where I'd put him as well, 3rd, and I'd probably actually agree with the top 2, Brady, Montana. Of course it's really hard, to do these all-time lists, especially since the rules are so much different. I mean, the rules definitely help the quarterback now more than they did, say 20, 30 years ago. Cornerbacks aren't allowed to touch wide receivers more than 5 yards downfield. The quarterbacks are protected so well. Anything, remotely late is flagged for a 15-yard penalty. So you often see defenders letting up. So, the rules definitely placate to the quarterback more than they did back in the day of, Johnny Unitas, Fran Tarkington, Terry Bradshaw, guys like that. But, still remarkable numbers. And, like another Broncos quarterback, all-time great John Elway, Peyton Manning leaves on top as Super Bowl champion. Of course, John Elway, his last 2 seasons, he won the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos when he had Terrell Davis, Rod Smith, Ed McCaffrey, Shannon Sharp, Bill Romanowski, guys like that. Outstanding teams that won back-to-back Super Bowls. And Manning also won a Super Bowl with the Colts and won Super Bowl MVP that year, I believe, back in February 2007 when they beat the Chicago Bears. So, Peyton Manning will definitely be missed. All-time great, all-time legend. And, to think during that NFL draft, I can't remember what year it was, maybe 98, 99. When it was a debate as who should be the first overall pick, Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. Can you imagine if the Colts took Ryan Leaf and the Chargers took Peyton Manning, how both of those teams' fortunes would have changed? Instead, the Colts obviously made the right decision. And, Peyton Manning go down as one of the all-time greats. Now let's talk a little bit of basketball, particularly the Golden State Warriors, who are now 55-5. I know they are playing on ABC right now against the Los Angeles Lakers. The game is in Los Angeles. Not sure what the score is, but actually, the Lakers are up 13 points with 3:46 left in the third. That's pretty shocking. Because I actually heard earlier today, according to Elias, that this is the first time in NBA history that, when both teams are at least 50 games into the season, that a team with a 900-plus winning percentage is playing a team with less than a 200 winning percentage. Of course, that being the Lakers. But the Lakers with the 13-point lead, of course, 13 points could be come back from in maybe 2 minutes for the Warriors. So, still 15 minutes and 46 seconds left. Plenty of time. But going into today's game, 55-5. Of course, the all-time record for the best record in NBA history goes to the 95-96 Bulls, who went 72-10. So the Warriors, including today's game, would have to go 17-5 to tie it, and 18-4 to break the NBA all-time record. According to BPI, going into today, they had a 60.2% chance of breaking the Chicago Bulls' 95-96 record, and a 79.9% chance of at least tying it. Of course, those percentages will drop if the Lakers are able to hold on. Now an 11-point lead for the Lakers. And also, Tuesday, the Warriors are going for an NBA record when they go for their 45th straight win at home. They host the Orlando Magic at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They are tied with the, once again, 95-96 Chicago Bulls, who went undefeated at home from March 30th, 1995 to April 4th, 1996, slightly over a year. The Warriors are well over a year, about a year and a month and a half since their last home regular season loss, as their last home regular season loss was against the Bulls, January 27th, 2015, when they barely lost in overtime, 113-111. The Orlando Magic team they're facing on Tuesday to break that all-time consecutive home win record. The Magic are currently 27-34 and 10-18 on the road. So, obviously the Warriors should be huge favorites in the game, but of course stranger things have happened, as seen right now with the Lakers with having a double-digit lead late in the third quarter on the Warriors, when I believe the Lakers have the second worst record in the NBA, only better than the Philadelphia